let's run.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of HPCritical, podcast where my friends and I talk all things gaming. I'm Jerel, joined by Brandon.
Heyo.
And Gabe.
Hello, everybody.
And special guest and wonderful friend of mine and HPCritical, Rodrigo.
Hello.
So, Rodrigo, I did tell you that I was going to let you tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Already. I just told him this.
Yeah.
You already forgot.
I know. I was watching the Uncharted trailer.
Oh, okay,
I
fair.
hate it,
Fair
by the
point.
way.
Oh, my God.
I'm Rodrigo, but I'm at Sathermail, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, other places. Less safe for work. But I just have the username. I mean, I don't use it for anything. Also, I do a weekly giveaway for a Steam game. And, join that. You can find it on my Twitter. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yes.
It's usually 2 winners at a time. So if you want to join that, that's on my Twitter or on my Twitch whenever I stream. Yeah, I think that's it. I sometimes write like for HPCritical.
There's weekly giveaways. I've never won one, but they are really weekly giveaways where 2 people do win. I usually do the Twitch one, or I like it. So if you follow me, you will see me like or retweet his.
People have won like 2-3 times in a row.
And I haven't won once. So
yeah, I was like, hey, you won again. What do you want?
Rigged.
Yeah,
No,
I think so. I don't know how they do it. They probably hacked the program. I don't know.
Well, clearly I need to start hacking. So anyway, let's get right into it. Since you brought up Uncharted, let's first talk about the Uncharted trailer that was released today. I know Rodrigo saw it because he just watched it. Brandon or Gabe, have you guys seen it?
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it when it came out.
Okay, so really quickly, what are you guys' impressions on it for those who've seen it?
Antonio Banderas in it. I'm excited.
Really? Oh, wow. I had no idea.
Saying his name without the S. Isn't it Banderas?
Nope.
Oh, is it
Antonio
really?
Bandera.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only one flag now.
I always thought it was
He's older. You lose one. You lose them all. You only get one.
Yeah, so yeah, what are your initial impressions? Excited for it? Looks good. Looks like Uncharted. Doesn't look like Uncharted. Don't care.
Me?
Yeah.
Or Gabe?
Both
I
of
thought
you.
you was talking. Oh,
I'm literally talking to both of y'all. Both of y'all saw the trailer. Don't be shy. I will.
it was bad. I hated it.
Okay.
It was not Uncharted, but I'm still gonna watch it. So that's where I'm at.
right, well-
I mean, the guys look okay. They look generic. I don't know if I'd rather rewatch the Indiana Jones movies, but
It's probably safe for a rewatch. Those.
yeah, even the last one that everybody hated, I thought it was fun.
It's
Wow.
funny
That's
too
fun.
because I haven't seen the trailer, but I just want to point out real quick that the Uncharted games in general were basically just like modern takes on Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
Like people were making a comparison. Oh, Uncharted is the video game version of Indiana Jones, and now they're making a movie based on Uncharted.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay.
Well, I agree
In
with
my
Rodrigo.
opinion, the Uncharted games were more of just the male version of Tomb Raider.
I completely
Yeah, that
also
too.
agree with Gabe more so than Brandon.
That too.
But to go back to the trailer, I agree with Rodrigo. I watched it and I was like, this doesn't seem very Uncharted at all. This clearly is a movie that looks really good that they threw the Uncharted name on and they decided to name the characters after it.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be fun to watch.
It looks like a fun
but
movie, yeah.
It's not Uncharted.
Yeah, it's very
Like,
much
we have
not
all
Uncharted
these
as we know it.
Uncharted story and background, and then they just kind of got rid of all that and restarted it. And
I
they
mean,
just
it
called
is
it
supposed to
Uncharted.
be Drake, Nathan Drake, younger, which sure, I totally understand. It's really weird when I see Tom Holland pretending to be a young Nathan Drake. That was very, it was very meta for me, so I kind of need to get over that. But the movie looks good. It just doesn't look like Uncharted to me. Although there was one sequence at the very end that I really quickly want to ask you guys about because people have already been making the memes of making it a QTE section, like where he's like jumping back onto the plane. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like when he falls out with the cargo and then he's jumping back into the plane and then he gets hit by a car and then he has to jump back into the plane from falling in the car. I was like, I loved everything on the trailer, but when I watched that, I was like, this looks so bad. Like that last moment. It's like, why did y'all do this? I guess that's the most Uncharted you can get, but it looked really bad to me.
That's actually part of the game.
Yeah, that's why I was like, this is the most
There's no
Uncharted thing
QTEs in the
title.
game, is there? I don't remember QTEs.
No, there are. Yeah, there are.
No.
Oh,
Like,
you thought and Uncharted 2. Oh, no.
you control the whole thing the whole time, and if you take too long to like reach to things or jump, you just die.
Are you
There's not
sure
really
there's no
QTEs.
QTEs in Uncharted
Yeah.
2? All right, well, I haven't played it in years, so I must go by what you're saying. But yeah, that was literally the most Uncharted thing in that whole trailer was that section.
I disagree because Uncharted 3, you literally do that. You hang off a plane.
No, that's what I'm
and then
saying.
you-
It was the most Uncharted thing.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Uncharted. No,
I think
never
I
mind.
think
Okay.
I think the un in front of charted has been throwing us off.
Oh, well, here's something else to throw you guys off. Chris Ayers, the prolific voice actor, best known for his work as the voice of Frieza in many Dragon Ball projects, died at the age of 56 this week. I didn't watch much of Dragon Ball, but I have always talked about the Frieza and Goku fight that lasts like 10 million episodes for whatever reason. A very prolific
supposed to be the
voice.
That was
It's like
originally
every-
going to be the end of Dragon Ball Z. That's why it was so long.
Well, very prolific voice. Very sad to see him go. I don't know if anybody wants to touch on, his passing at all before I move on.
I'd say a little, only because there's been several voice actors in the voice of Frieza. Chris Ayers kind of stepped into the role when they were doing Dragon Ball Z Kai, which was like the remaster of the original. Then unfortunately he encountered health problems, which he's been suffering on for years. Unfortunately, during that time, another actor, Damon Mills, has been doing the voice of Frieza. But yeah, no, Chris Ayers, he's on it of the three that I know of that's done Frieza. He's been easily my favorite voice of Frieza. And it's a shame because he was sick and well, and he was always in high spirits, confident that he was gonna make it through. He was and people were fellow people that he knew, colleagues, would always share about how positive he was, how he would uplift them and whatnot. And besides him being Frieza, he just really did seem like a really positive person, and it's a really shame that he couldn't make it through. It's a big shame, and he'll definitely be missed.
So I'm gonna move on a little bit, unless anyone else has a few words, because I don't like sad
What Brandon
stuff.
said.
I mean, yeah, he pretty much put it very succinctly. I don't like sad stuff, so I'm gonna talk a little bit more about sad stuff before I move on. And that is that Activision Blizzard has fired more than 20 employees amid harassment probes. The game publisher also filed new court filings with its ongoing litigation. This is from CNET.com, written by Oscar Gonzalez. And it says, quote, Activision Blizzard said its actions were the result of investigations into reports of harassment, discrimination, or retaliation in the company. Along with news of the fired employees, the letter said the company will expand its ethics and compliance team. We are working tirelessly to ensure that moving forward, this is a place where people are not only heard, but empowered, wrote Fran Townsend, Activision Blizzard's executive vice president for corporate affairs. On Tuesday, the company also submitted 2 court filings on its ongoing legal case with the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing, the agency that filed a lawsuit against Blizzard for workplace discrimination back in July. It is what, October? Almost November?
Yeah.
They attempted to object to an $18 million settlement between the game publisher and the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission that was reached in September. So we've talked a little bit about the whole Blizzard debacle before. They've now apparently fired 20 people in an attempt to, what some people are saying, make themselves look better because of all the bad press they've been getting. And now we have this out-of-court settlement for $18 million between the publisher and the department, and apparently they're attempting to object it. So the Department of Federal Housing is actually attempting to object the $18 million settlement. So this looks like another ongoing situation. What do you guys think? Do you think they fired the 20 employees to look good, or do you think that they fired them because they actually did investigations and they found even more people with an issue? Do you think it's too late to do, is this something they should have done before? Why is it that it's, this was filed in July and it's almost September and they just found 20 more people that need to be fired? What is your stance on this current Blizzard situation?
It's never too late to take action, because people who do negative stuff should get consequences. So it's better that something was done. I do think it was to look good, because I actually just realized my mic was so far from me. Sorry. I do think it was to look good. The fact that it's not, I mean, I don't know who was fired, but it seemed like it's not people that are very high up there, which something tells me that's who they should really be looking at. But that's why I believe it's to look good, because it was just 20 people. I didn't hear any names. This is actually the first I hear about this. So it's like that's how I know the 20 people that were fired aren't. I'm not gonna say this is gonna sound mean, but at the same time, they're obviously fired for being shitty people. They're irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. Like they're not people from like you. I wouldn't know that person if you gave me one of their names. And so something tells me that they were, they're firing those 20 people like, look, we're doing something about the company. But then, the head honchos that they should be looking at, it's like, okay, we're protected now because it looks like we're doing something, but we're good. So that's just me though.
Brandon, where'd you go?
I don't have too much more to say beyond what Gabe said. He said it pretty succinctly. I will just add though that I just don't really have that much faith in Activision Blizzard right now. They have done nothing in the last 3 months to really install faith in them, despite the supposed moves that they're making here. So I don't know, man. Just like they're getting rid of like 20 more people who we are assuming are big problems. I get like I would know, but the big ups are just are still somehow escaping whatever. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like they're I guess they're doing something rather than nothing. They realize they can't just wait for it to blow over. So stuff's happening, but like I just don't trust it, man. Like they've really like, and I think I can speak for a lot of people when I say that because a lot of people have just been rubbed the wrong way by the shitty ass practices going on at Activision Blizzard. That I just hear stuff like this, like, oh, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
Like I can sum this up. I can sum this entire feelings on this in one sense. Like I don't care, and it's not that I don't care because it's like I should, if that makes sense. It's just that they're Activision Blizzard. Me, they've become irrelevant at this point with everything they've done. I'm just like, maybe one day I'll care about something they did that I like, but until then, I'm just kind of like, eh.
Yeah. Rodrigo, anything you want to add?
I think that's the least thing they could have done. Fire 20 people that were involved in the allegations.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they should have just been let go when we first heard about it, or when they first heard
That's
any
what I was gonna
allegations.
say, yeah.
To put on an investigation, no, but they were like people that were hurting people. They hurt people for years,
Mhm.
and it wasn't just one person. And I mean, just firing them, it doesn't seem like, this should be in jail. This should be, I don't know, castrated.
I just think it's so crazy that it's happening. Like they started this investigation in July, and you mean that from July until October, you didn't know that these people were still committing these issues? Like, I feel like someone had to know something, especially once you're doing such.
People knew for years, and they had the
Mhm.
Cosby room. So this is something that's been going on for years, and they just been ignoring it, sweeping it under the rug until there was a public
Outcry, and
yeah, like someone came out, and then now they're in trouble. And really $15 million is not a lot for them.
Not
That's
at all.
chump change for them.
Yeah.
That's why they should be charged a lot more, or just a big figure that might leave them bankrupt, because it's not enough. It's
At
not
all.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't know why these people weren't caught in July. Like, why weren't they fired in July? Why were they fired in October? Doesn't make any sense to me. Something else that doesn't make any sense to me, because I'm going to move on, is that Bungie will now charge standard edition Destiny 2 players for dungeons on top of microtransactions and season passes. This is from Destructoid.com, written by Chris Carter. Essentially what happened is that, as we had mentioned in a previous podcast, Bungie did move away from Activision with Destiny 2, and now if you purchase the base game, according to this article, if you purchase the standard edition, you can later upgrade to the deluxe edition to access the dungeons, but if you just purchase the standard edition, you will not be able to do end game dungeons or end game content. You can buy them, you can pay for access to them, or by purchasing the deluxe edition. But yeah, you can't access end game dungeons in Destiny 2 without the deluxe edition, meaning base game players won't be able to. Thoughts?
Well, I mean, the way I see it is probably just to give people that want to play Destiny 2 with their friends just some accessibility options, I suppose. Maybe they feel that if they have like a cheaper price that doesn't give them everything, then maybe it'll motivate some people to jump in, and then if they're like, "Oh, this is really fun," I'll buy some more stuff so I can get the full experience. Yeah, and that's all it really is. Honestly, Destiny 2's been out for years at this point, so having, I guess, a cheaper buy-in option if they're not going to just lower the price altogether, I guess is an option. But also, doesn't Destiny 2 also go on like Game Pass or whatever for like Xbox players?
No, I think it's the original Destiny. I don't think it's Destiny 2.
Well, Destiny 2 is free to play. Then they have the expansions, and then they have the newer expansion. I haven't checked the latest thing, but it sounds like bullshit. Like you already charge people for all this stuff, and now you want to charge them more to get the complete thing. Like there's different, I guess there's different editions that you can pay for the new
there's different
expansion.
tiers you can purchase.
Yeah, and then, I mean, you're already paying for the expansion. Why don't you get the whole thing? Well, why don't you just do one price for the whole thing? He's trying to nickel and dime their player base, their loyal player base that have been playing since Destiny, the first Destiny. And I don't know, it's just bullshit. Aren't they just money hungry right now? I don't know what they're doing.
Rodrigo came in with hot takes for everything so far. He's hated the Uncharted trailer. He wants to eviscerate everyone at Blizzard.
It's bad news all around.
Bungie is,
this is just bad news. Probably the worst news.
No, I didn't think of it the way that Brandon did, which is allowing tiers for people to, come in and pay for the content that they want. I think that's a great way to look at it, which is why I made that face, because in my mind, I never thought of that. My initial impression.
I think that's just Brandon being positive thinker thing.
Well, because my initial impression was more like Rodrigo's, which is if I purchase a game like Destiny, which is a games as a service game, right? Like essentially it's games as a service. The whole point of doing Destiny is playing end game content with your friends. Like, is that not what you're going towards anyway when you pick up a game like Destiny? Like, sure, you can play the single player and some PvP, but like people who are playing with friends are going to want to do the end game raids. So the fact that I could purchase the game and then to access the content that we actually want to do, I have to pay extra for it. I feel like that's such trash. Like that's a horrible incentive. That's like, I can't, it's like if Final Fantasy 14 was like, yeah, totally play the base game, play through the story, have fun with your friends, but if you want to do, end game content, we're going to charge extra. Like what? Okay, that's actually a really bad example.
But yeah, technically,
they have a
I was going to say.
That's the expansions, but they released the whole expansion together.
You can literally play, Heaven's Word up to Heaven's Word and do raid content for free in Final Fantasy 14. And then for Destiny 2, you got to pay an extra price to get a premium package to play end game stuff, which is the goal. Who's buying Destiny to not want to raid? Like me, probably, but I'm sure I'm in the minority.
I know pretty much everyone that I haven't played Destiny in forever, but I know most people that play it just want to raid.
Exactly. So like
raid is pretty much the main draw of Destiny.
I'm pretty good at PvP, so that's mainly why I play it. I haven't done raid because I don't really have friends to do raids with, and then setting up raids with randoms, it's just hours.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't know what you're doing. And I did that in Destiny 1. I did all the raids. And it was fun once everybody got the hang of it. But then, if you don't have friends, it's just really hard to do raids. So,
Gabe, did you want to jump in before I move on?
I would never agree with paying extra money for a full priced game 2 years after it comes out.
Fair
enough. Yeah, I'm sorry, you charged me $60 for the base game, and now you're telling me after all this time, give you some more money. I mean, I guess you have to get your game, your game has to survive somehow. It's not going to survive, off cosmetic purchases or whatever it was you could buy up until now. So they did say they want Destiny 2 to, last a long time. But at the same time, it's like, I think that's a bad practice.
What Brandon mentioned, which is, the game is pretty much free. Like you
now though, but imagine the hundreds of thousands of people who paid the $60 when it first came out.
Yeah,
I was one of those people.
Yeah, it's bullshit. Then they made it free to play, and I was like, what the fuck?
And because the thing is
expansion, no.
It's like the free to play thing didn't even it wasn't that long until after the game came out. It was the game came out, and I think it was maybe a year after the Destiny's free to play. I was like, why would you? It sounds like you knew this already. Why would you make people pay for the game in the first place? But I don't know. Me and Bungie don't. I never liked Bungie.
Well, something other people aren't liking is Valkyrie currently. That's how you say her name, right? Valkyrie?
Valkyrie, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys know, but Valkyrie's been facing some backlash for her new gamer skincare range. This is from Eurogamer.net, written by are you laughing, Ed Nightingale? Are you laughing? I didn't even tell you the
It's
story
just
yet.
Rodrigo,
I
it's
know
not me.
telling this. I know the news, so it's funny. Just keep saying it.
Okay, so she has partnered with Reflect RF LCT to create a range of screen shield defense face moisturizers and lip guard moisturizer bombs and other blue light prevention factor custom ingredients that you can use as makeup to, as they put it in this article, I'm paraphrasing here, I'm not quoting, but to essentially allow people to use makeup that will help prevent blue light, the negative impacts of blue light on skin. So I'm sure we've all heard, blue light issues with eyes, right? And that's why we have.
I haven't.
Okay, well, so that's a thing. That's why we have blue light tent glasses, or glasses without prescription for blue light for people who are staring at screens all day to help take the strain off of your eyes. So this company said that it can also damage your skin and eyes over time. And so to prevent that, she's created, she's in conjunction with this other company, she's created a line of makeup to help prevent that. The reason people are upset is because, one, there is no real proof of the long-term effects of blue light anything on your skin. So it seems as if this is a cash grab. For two, the terms of service on the product website state, and I quote, "We are not responsible if information made available on this site is not accurate, complete, or current." It also goes on to, I mean, so her statement is that it is designed to protect your skin from blue light that is emitted from all digital screens. It's the skincare collection for everyone who uses a screen. And yeah, in fairness, I will say that we don't know that there is any negative effects of blue light on skin, but I would
think there is,
think we
but like
do.
from the sun.
Yeah, I think scientists have said,
Yeah. The
digital
complete-
screens
yeah.
don't actually affect your skin.
Yeah.
Well,
Your eyes, yes,
so-
because it's
in this article, Dr. Ludger Colby, who is the chief scientist photobiology at Bierstoff research team, said the amount of, quote, "the amount of artificial blue light emitted during conventional use of electronic devices is nowhere near enough to trigger harmful skin effects, and that compared to the emissions of the sun's natural blue light, those of artificial blue light are virtually undetectable." So we got that, right? But people are not happy with the fact that, I guess she's, putting herself behind and with this company to create something and claiming that it's an issue when we know that it's not.
You know what this is like? When they started constructing 5G towers and they're like, it's going to give us cancer.
It's the same thing, yeah. Except for now you can
5G
buy
towers
things
gave us
to-
the coronavirus.
Yeah.
The difference is now you can throw out money to stop that. So I think that's why it's bad, right? Because now you're charging people to stop something that isn't even real.
But my favorite part
Snake
though was
oil,
on
that's
the
what it is.
site of where they're selling that makeup that is supposed to prevent this. They say we are not responsible for the
Yeah, that's
motherfucker. You
hilarious.
guys are the ones putting the information.
Yep.
Like what?
Hey,
don't
I gotta
know,
tell you,
man.
I'm gonna tell you something, but I'm not responsible if I'm lying.
Exactly.
That's literally that.
Exactly. I'm also not
hey.
obligated to update my information at all, by the way. So.
Hey, I didn't fact check, so if you listen to me, it's your fault, really.
On Facebook, I saw my mother's friend cousin say, and it's true. No, shut the fuck up. I think everyone has right to be mad at this. I was about to say really mean words. Everyone has the right to be mad at this person.
So
Again,
what do you say
I
to
feel
someone who decides that they want that people should, read the fine print before they purchase something like this, and it's their fault for buying the product?
wait, what do I say to
without
them, or
doing
what do I
research.
say
Well,
to the
you do
person who
gotta-
doesn't do the research?
What would you say to a person who purchases this product without reading into the website? And
If you're
assumes that this is-
purchasing
Why are you
it
being
for,
stupid?
yeah.
so
You gotta
the
do your
customer is
research,
just
man.
being stupid. That's what
Yes.
you're
Yeah, but no, if you bought it
We're talking
because
about
of the
customers
blue
always
light
right.
thing,
No.
Then you are stupid because that's not a real thing. You really should do your research.
But
Yeah,
what
like
if
I
that's
don't
not
okay,
you.
like I don't want to get political with this, but it's gonna happen because I'm gonna mention it. But the coronavirus, the vaccine that we're all taking right now. I didn't just go and listen to when they say, oh, you should get the vaccine. I was like, I'm gonna do a little bit of research on it. And through that, I found out, this is so hard for me to say because I hate scientific abbreviations. The mRNA studies that they use to advance the COVID vaccine research has been going on for years. COVID is a strand of SARS, which has been being studied for years. So through that research, I found stuff out and I'm putting it into my body. Makeup is very similar. Obviously, you don't consume it, but you're putting it on your skin and it does seep in through your pores. And makeup is already known for damaging your skin if you wear too much of it for too long. So if you're buying something that is supposed to be protective and you're not putting research behind that, because from my knowledge, there's not a lot of makeup that offers a protective layer. Like as far as I know, there's not makeup that doubles as sunscreen. So if you're gonna buy something that's supposed to double as a blue light blocker, if you're not doing your research, I'm sorry, you're being dumb. If you're buying it for that specific reason, you're being dumb. If you're not buying it because oh well, I think it looks cool and I just want to try it on, that's fine. But like if you're like, oh, I'm buying it specifically so when I play video games or I watch TV for more than 5 hours, my skin's not going to start to boil like I'm burning or something.
Okay,
Then you're
but
dumb.
one of the top female streamers on Twitch is
Yeah, that's,
advocating for this.
And
So
you
I
know what
feel
I say
like
to
That's
her?
exactly what I was gonna point out. That like
I mean, yeah, sure. I guess you're gonna feel
I mean,
like
she
that's a
didn't do.
credible
She's not a
source.
scientist.
Yeah,
He's
again,
not.
That made
But
the
people,
not a
but
scientist.
people
for
still
her.
like, oh
She
my
just put
god,
her name
she's
on
saying
it. She got some money.
Yeah.
I think that's
yeah. And that's not going to stop me from calling them dumb, because I genuinely think if
Yeah,
you
sure.
just follow someone off word of mouth without looking into yourself, there's no other way for me to put it. It's a little
Yeah,
harsh.
you can't trust
but
internet people, but
Yeah.
Jeremiah giveaways, free game.
yeah, join his giveaways.
on Twitter and Twitch at Sathramel. You're welcome.
Yeah, there you go. Also, what I heard about her is that when they were going off on her, because people go, they tell you stuff on Twitter. So she sent out a tweet that was like I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna check it out, something to that effect, and then she deleted the tweet. So I don't know if there's an update on that or not. But that's the last I heard of that.
This
So,
reminds me of when Asmongold
I
made
really
$2
don't think she
million,
knows.
and then he decided to not join the Twitch back out. And I was like, well, yeah, of course,
Yeah.
he made $2 million. Of course, he's not going
Right.
to join the Twitch back out. Why the fuck?
Oh
would
yeah, I
he
wouldn't
do
either.
that? Like, you know, like,
Yeah,
what?
I could use $2 million.
Well, become
could
an
use $1
even more
million.
popular streamer. I could use 10 million. It would change my life. Someone give me $10 million. Yeah, anyway.
Patreon.com/HPCritical.
Yes, patreon.com/HPCritical. I just actually, thank you. I just got a bunch of stuff that we're putting together for the October Patreon. It's really cute. It's a bunch of Halloween stuff. It's super adorable. And I hope that you guys like it who are Patreon members. And if you're not, go to patreon.com/HPCritical and sign the fuck up so you can help support us.
Yeah, and you know what else?
Or I'm
if you get
taking
if
your
you-
kneecaps.
You know what else? Wait, what? You know what else you get if you join patreon.com/HPCritical? You get the chance to talk to us here on this very podcast. Straight
So if
up.
you hate me and you want to tell me how much you hate me, pay me. And then you can tell me to my face.
Well, no, that's not accepted. Everybody loves you, so
Oh my,
doesn't.
please
that
tell
doesn't
that
come
to
up.
my ex.
Well, that's a
Okay,
different
alright.
thing, and shouldn't be such a little bitch.
If you've ever
So-
wanted to be verbally abused by me, join our Patreon.
Oh well, that's another
If
thing.
you want,
then.
if you want,
You
if
should
you want,
get
if you
OnlyFans
want
for
me to
that,
encourage your opinions, whether they're right or wrong, join our Patreon.
It's just getting worse.
There you go.
So next up, Cyberpunk 2077 and The Witcher 3 next gen versions have been pushed into 2022. Yeah,
What a surprise!
that's pretty much it. Like, I'm
I mean, that
actually,
was
So what you're saying is this next
this
gen
game
version
was
starts-
never ever ready ever. Like, that's all I'm hearing.
It was not ready. That's what I was gonna say. So you mean Cyberpunk 2077 is coming out when it was supposed to come out?
Not
or-
even. Like, I feel like, but I don't even think 2022 was on par with what they assumed. Like, this is just at this point a bit ridiculous. Like, they announced the game too early. They let the game out too early. Like this game was announced 17 years before it actually came out, and now it's still being pushed into 2022. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck was
Well,
y'all
it's the
doing?
next gen version, but I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah, but the
I don't think
current
anybody's
one doesn't
really
even work properly.
eagerly waiting for the next gen version anyway. I mean, if you didn't play it
was.
already,
I was,
Well-
and I know a few people that are also were, because I was going to give it
Really?
a chance and actually play it on PS5. Yeah.
I'm gonna be
Well,
honest, I completely
you're
forgot
full.
about that game. Like, until I saw the tweet earlier today, I was like, is that game that everyone had a problem with when it launched? I genuinely forgot about it.
it's the game that had the problems.
It's the game that
Now
has
the-
problems.
Now the other one they were talking about was Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, which is getting its next gen version. I have to assume that if it's taking as long as it is to make a next gen version, that they're actually two things. One, that they're hopefully doing some actual improvements to the game, and it's not just like a straight port of like maybe, I don't know, haptic feedbacks or whatever, 4K, whatever. And the other thing was after the backlash with Cyberpunk, they probably want to make sure that everything is good to go with this next gen port, because it's bad enough already that Cyberpunk, this game that many people were waiting for, ended up not being so good because of all the issues that it had. The worst thing that could happen to them now is take a game that people know is good, that being The Witcher 3, and have it fucked up with a bad port on next gen. They have very little goodwill left, and that would just shatter it to take a game that's already known to be good and it had be bad.
I wonder if they're having issues developing for next gen consoles. Like, I wonder if their team is just not. I don't know. I'm not gonna.
Or they ran out of money.
speculations.
all of the money.
I highly doubt they ran out of money.
They got money.
They got the money. Well, yeah, they probably kept the people on top, got their bonuses, and then they ran out of money. I think that's what.
I highly doubt they ran out of money. God of War is coming to PC in January.
Nice.
With visual
Ooh,
enhancements.
And I'm gonna be playing it on my Steam Deck for the first time ever.
Oh well, I mean, then why would you even play it?
Huh?
I mean, why would you even buy it on PC then? Because then it just lowers the resolution. You
Does
want to get
it?
it on PC because you got
Your Steam Deck only
$3,000
outputs,
yeah.
I think it
Until you plug
1440.
it in, you can.
Yeah,
output
when you put it in, it
4K.
goes up to 4K, but
Yeah.
you might as well
That
just
was
get
my
it on
point.
your.
Yeah, if you're just gonna play it like handheld,
Oh.
then I mean, that'd be the only way when you're in the bathroom or something. I don't know. But the whole thing of
Play
getting
God
on
of War in the
PC is that you want it
Just-
at 4K, and
Yeah,
right there, look at Kratos' mustache.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
like-
sure
like
there's
the-
gonna be a PS5 enhancement coming soon after the PC version.
Only
So-
better.
Probably,
Hey,
yeah.
well, it was the #1 game on a pre-order game on Steam, so a lot of people want to play it. And speaking of games that a lot of people want to play, or rather games that people would pay for, whatever, it's a bad segue, but Xbox Game Pass subscriptions miss Microsoft's target. This is from VG247.com by Sharif Syed. Microsoft has not met its target for growing Xbox Game Pass membership numbers. The company had hoped for a massive 48% growth, but fell short with just 37%. This is for the year ending June 30, according to Axios. The reason Microsoft set such a high target is that it was encouraged by the prior fiscal year's performance, where Game Pass subscriptions grew by 86%, which was above its 71% target.
That was because of COVID.
Yep, Microsoft has been pushing Xbox Game Pass heavily in recent months with discounts, expanded availability, and through courting big and small developers to launch their games into the service. Just this year, we saw the release of Outriders and Back 4 Blood. Xbox Game Pass subscriber growth is also the only gaming metric on the payment plan for Microsoft executives. In other words, CEO Satya Nadella and others may miss out on bonuses for underperforming. Though Microsoft no longer communicates hard numbers, it is believed that Game Pass currently has over 18 million members. So that is a really high number. But basically what Rodrigo said, a lot of us were stuck at home. COVID happened. We all got Game Pass. Now COVID's, not over, but we're having to go back to, work and real daily life things. We have less time. And my issue personally with Game Pass, I have two. One is that I don't have the time to justify paying the monthly subscription, because if I don't focus solely on playing games on Game Pass, I will be playing stuff on PlayStation and Switch, and then I'll come to the Xbox and I'll have like 3 or 4 days left, and I've wasted $9 to $15, excuse me, not even $9, $15. I've wasted $15. So one of my issues is time. The other issue is game selection. it is still an issue for me personally. It's great for games like Back for Blood that I can grab and play with friends. It's great for
There's new
new
games on it.
releases. Yeah, it's great for new releases. But as far as what else is on there, it is not worth it for me personally, not my taste. A lot of those games I already own and I'm not interested in. The new games are fun. I just have to focus on playing them. So time and interest are my issue personally for Game Pass. I don't know how many people are affected by the fact that they might not have time to play anything. I know Kellie was talking, I think last week or the week before, about how, you know, she's let her Game Pass run out for almost the exact same reasons. But yeah, that's still a huge increase, right? Like 71% is big for year over year, right? That's
Mhm.
crazy. Like that's still a lot of people playing Game Pass. But it's interesting to see that they were unable to reach the mark. Anybody want to jump in on that one?
I think
Losers.
they
Wow.
messed up because I think Game Pass is a really good deal if you have an Xbox and you really don't have anything else to play. So if you have an Xbox, you don't have it. I mean, they're messing up somewhere with what they're doing, but I think it's a good deal because you get new games and stuff. I mean, I don't have an Xbox, so I mean, I don't care.
But you have a
But-
PC, so you can also benefit from Game Pass.
Yeah, actually, well, the thing is, I got 30 days from Crunchyroll. I still haven't used it. So I don't know if it's just the way it's advertised or something. So I don't know. It's just they're messing up somewhere in how they're putting it out there to the people. Because I think it's a good deal, but it's not being used for some reason. It's something they're messing up.
And also the PC Game Pass library differs from the
From Xbox
console.
one, yeah.
And like as a PC player, I have Steam. Steam has deals literally almost every day. And I rather buy my game and know I'm gonna have it forever than pay for a service that, like you said, I might not have the time to play because, you know, we work full-time jobs. We're all trying to recover from COVID. You know, we're going to work now. So it's like I rather just see a game I like, buy it. That's it. I don't.
Also, games rotate out. Like some of these new games don't stay as long as some of the older ones, at least from what I've seen. I can't talk like specifically because I haven't really been paying attention because once my Game Pass went out, I just let it go out. I did not renew it. I haven't renewed it. I'm only going to renew it to play Back for Blood for as long as my friends want to play, and then as soon as they stop playing, I will probably you know, play a few other games like Astria Ascending, I think I was trying, and AI the Somnium Files. But also, like, even I love games like AI the Somnium Files, but I could literally already have that. Like, it was not a new game release, right? It's just new to Game Pass. Astria Ascending is a great game that looks like it can be played on Switch. It looks like it's made for Switch. That handheld, you know, JRPG type thing. I'm talking too much. So yeah, I'm moving on. Unless anyone else wants to talk about Game Pass failing. Oh, sorry. It failed technically, but it still did really good. When I say that,
I mean, it's still doing us.
It's doing great.
It just didn't reach
80 million
expectations.
subscribers, did I say? That's a lot of people paying $15 a month. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Destructoid.com has an article titled "PlayStation Finally Patents Terrible Sounding Bench Player Feature" by Chris Moyse. This doesn't seem remotely abusable, excuse me. Quote, Sony PlayStation has reportedly acquired its patent on a potential feature that would allow players or even stream spectators to kick or bench in-game team players. Sony applied for patency in January, and while an initial proclamation had surfaced in July, the feature was finally granted its patency on Tuesday, October 19th, excuse me. The spectators vote to bench players in a video game feature would, as its cumbersome name suggests, offer up the ability for players and spectators to vote out in-game competitors, either permanently or on a time-limited basis. I'm not going to go into the rest of this. I feel like you guys kind of get the idea.
I don't.
I think it's gonna be fun.
So
It's gonna be a popularity contest.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's mostly, I think it's a streamer thing.
Essentially, what this patent means is if they were to implement it in the way that it's described in the patent, it just means that if you're streaming, like if we were all streaming, anyone in like Twitch chat can just vote to kick us, and then we get like one of us would get kicked out because chat decided to kick us out. Yeah, that's
There's already like mods that do that in games. You know, they kick you out or they change your game how you're doing it. I don't. If it's just like kicking somebody out, that's like probably like a battle royale thing or something that will work out, I guess.
It'll
if
allow
it's
players
implemented
to
like
vote.
that, yeah.
It'll allow
Yeah.
players to vote on who to kick, and include not only players but also spectators. So if we're all playing something on PlayStation, like if we're all playing Back for Blood on PlayStation, and people are watching us, they can vote to kick me out because I suck.
Yeah.
And
Or
then I'll lose the ad.
if they made it like I don't know if you guys remember, like a couple of years ago, or it's probably more than that, where there was a Twitch plays Pokemon
I
and
do.
people
Yes.
voted where to go. If it was implemented like that, that'd be something fun if people were able to do stuff like that.
I'll also give you the example in this article. It says, quote, so for example, if a game that supported the feature was being broadcast on Twitch, the audience could access a menu and vote to have a player kicked off the squad, even going as far as to send the targeted player custom messages warning them that they need to step up their performance to return to the game.
That's mean, bro. What?
Yeah,
No.
well, I mean, people are gonna abuse the hell out of that. If they don't like you, or you say something they don't like, you're just gonna be benched, even if you're the best player ever.
There's also more here. While the above description already outlines a thoroughly abusable gaming experience, the patent seemingly goes even further, offering up possibilities that include letting a spectator's skill level award them vote dominance. Worse yet, one offered example implements a mechanic wherein a spectator could actually pay in order to see a particular player removed, either with in-game currency, real cash, or via an in-stream auction.
This is abuse.
Bruh,
Yeah,
This is verbal
just-
abuse. This is bullying.
imagine like someone's better at me than I am at Back for Blood, and they come to my stream and pay to kick me out.
That's
Yeah, well,
that's
imagine,
bullying.
There's a rich
I'm
person
sorry.
playing against you, and then they're losing against you, then they can just pay to kick you out.
Yeah,
We literally
It's pay to win.
like several months
legit pay to
ago.
win.
Jerel, do you remember? This was like this may even be over a year at this point, but do you remember when we did a Smash tournament where Sean was my co-host for that tournament?
Yes. How could I forget?
There was literally someone who was commenting on the chat saying, "This guy's winning too much. I will donate money to get him out of the tournament right
We
now."
should have did it. Honestly, we were raising money for I forgot what some great fundraiser at
Charity.
the point. Yes, it was some charity because we're always raising
Yeah,
money
but
for
that
charity.
would have been some shitty ass will if we said, "Hey, tournament player,
But
you're
it
out of
was
this."
I mean,
fucking
if it's for charity,
It
I'm
was
not
for
against it.
charity, right?
Yeah.
Get
No,
this guy
what?
outta
If
here.
you kick me out in the middle of a Smash tournament, I'm kicking everyone's ass.
Outta
That's
here.
no. I don't.
You can-
I,
It's
Thank
for
you, Gabe.
charity.
Thank you, Gabe.
You could pay
Yeah,
to come
you
back
can.
in.
fuck
Yeah, there you
that.
go.
Sorry. No.
For charity.
Because you know what? Once you get me out of that tournament, you lose the momentum. And when you come back in and you just realize you have to pay to come back in,
Okay, I'm clearly joking. I think we had a prize pool for that as well. I think there was
Yeah, we
money on
did.
the line.
We had
So
there was
obviously
money
we're
on the
not
line
gonna
for
just
that.
kick people out for if there's money on the line. Which, by the way, thanks for bringing that up because tomorrow, well, by the time you're hearing this, hopefully you hear it on Friday, October 22nd, which is tomorrow at this point. We will be hosting a lovely Dead by Daylight play together session over at hpcritical.com on twitch.tv/hpcritical, and we're raising money for the National Breast Cancer Foundation. So come by and watch Brandon and I play some Dead by Daylight all night. Just kidding, from 7 p.m. until like 10 p.m. because I'm gonna be tired. Or 11. I don't know when it stops. I forgot. Brandon, I don't know if
It
you know.
stops by daylight.
There you go. It stops by daylight.
No.
We'll be
Absolutely not.
from 7 p.m.
But if you guys do want to stream, that may very well go into daylight. I hope
right
it doesn't.
after that, on
Yes, go ahead.
Saturday,
Yeah.
Brandon is going to also be streaming for the same charity, National Breast Cancer Foundation. He is going to be playing through the entirety of Luigi's Mansion.
Start
So,
to finish.
Start to finish.
It's a good
y'all.
game.
We got some nice, fun, scary stuff happening over at twitch.tv/hpcritical. Come by, donate. Even if you don't want to watch us play, you can still donate. The links are on HP Critical's social channels, especially Twitter. So check that out. And the last thing I want to talk to you guys about before we wrap this bad boy up because it's late is the Nintendo Direct. The first ever Nintendo Direct premiered 10 years ago on this day. Of course, people had a lot of things to say about it back then, whether you liked it, whether you didn't like it. It has obviously changed the way that gaming presentations happen in the past 10 years. We've seen everybody emulate it, copy it. What are your thoughts on the Nintendo Direct from its initial impressions to how it is now? Do you think it's obviously, well, yeah, just tell me your thoughts on the Direct and its evolutions.
I literally rewatched the very first Direct before this podcast just to kind of like, because obviously we know how Directs are today. We know how its imitators are, like the state of plays and what have you. So we know how the flow is today. But that first Direct, that was 7 minutes long. Like, we're spoiled. We're used to like 15 to 20-minute Directs or 40-minute
I'm
ones
used
that
to
are
40. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, well,
Some of them are still really short now.
Some of them
Yeah.
are short. Like, let me
Minute
rephrase.
directs.
If you're talking,
Literally, they had that Pokemon one that was like 5 minutes, and I was like, why y'all even did this?
it depends on the Direct. Like, if it's a game specific Direct or like Rodrigo said, a Direct mini, maybe like 15, 20. But if you're getting like that full ass Direct that's like saying, hey, here's all this shit we're doing the next few months, then you get like 30 or 40, whatever. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is this very first Direct was only 7 minutes. And it was not this whole headline things like, here's the headlines. It's literally Reggie talking to talking to the people. The screen will occasionally change to show what he's talking about. And that was pretty much it. That was your very first Nintendo Direct. And we can definitely see how it's evolved over the years. Like, the pacing has definitely improved. Not that much you could play too much about pacing the 7 minute Direct, but whatever. Anyway, when the minutes increase, then you have to improve the pacing, because it's something we've talked about every time when we've talked about Directs, about how like, oh, they spent way too long on this, or they didn't spend enough time on this. This didn't need to be in a Direct, blah blah blah. So the pacing has definitely been something they've worked on in Directs, in the state of plays, inside Xbox, Ubi Forge, whatever. So you can definitely see the difference. But besides that, like you touched on, Jerel, this really did pave the way for a new form of communication for game companies in general to just be able to talk about their stuff, because otherwise, anytime they need to talk about anything, it was either, their big press conference at E3, or maybe a social media post, or just a trailer gets dropped on the YouTubes or whatever. Now they have a way to like, hey, we have a few things we're working on. Let's just throw a bunch of trailers into this one thing. People are hyped about it. It's essentially just enhanced marketing, but people really eat it up because they're always excited about what they could get announced. Yes, what they'll be playing next. And it's just, I don't know where we'd be if Nintendo hadn't thought of this idea to make this thing called the Nintendo Direct, because it's something that fans, like, regardless of you're a Nintendo fan, PlayStation fan, Xbox fan, whatever, you can look forward to every few months or so, finding out just like an extended amount of time about stuff that you actually care about.
I mean, I feel like something like it would have eventually come anyway. Specifically, even if it was just due to COVID, something would have happened like it. And you mentioned Nintendo. I'm sorry, you mentioned companies that just shadow drop stuff. I mean, it's funny that you said that. The reason I laughed is because Nintendo still does that. Like, they will legit.
They especially did it last year because
3 a.m. random drop on Twitter. Hey, here's a brand new trailer.
Oh boy, 3 a.m.
Well, I mean, it's Japan, so it's daylight over there, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that. It's just the fact that they still shadow drop stuff out of nowhere. Like,
all the companies do. It's become an option.
Notorious for it though. Like,
Nintendo's a real notorious for it, but if anything, it's become an option. Like, sometimes they'll be like, we could just shadow drop this, it's fine. And sometimes they'll be like, you know what, maybe we need to give this time little time to market. We'll throw it in a Direct or whatever.
Do you have any favorite Directs by any chance, Brandon, in the last 10 years?
Man, oh man. I would have to give preference to like the E3 ones, because those are the ones where they're that's what Nintendo does instead of a press conference. So those have to be like the biggest ones. This is an unpopular opinion because it was half the Direct was just this one game, but I do have a soft spot for the Direct where Smash Ultimate was introduced. Because if you're not a Smash fan, or you're not enough of a Smash fan, I know, for example, our good friend Toby was not a fan of that Direct because he loves Smash, but he didn't like that half the Direct was just Smash.
Yeah.
But me, man, that's where we got the Everyone Is Here trailer. I couldn't have been more excited. So that's, for me personally, that's up there high as one of my favorite Directs.
Gabe, Rodrigo, any
So-
overall feelings? Sure.
Back in 2011, I didn't follow video games that like as much as I do now. Yeah. Um, so I actually never seen that direct, and I didn't get a chance to watch it today because I was working. But for me, I think I really started paying attention to directs and realizing they're like, a Nintendo thing was back in 2017. No, sorry, 2014 when Breath of the Wild was announced. And that's when I kind of really
Okay.
that's when I was like, because at first I thought it was just an E3 thing, but then obviously I was like, I want more information on the Legend of Zelda, and I need it now. So that's when I really started paying attention to
That's how they
Nintendo
get you.
news. And so that's when I was finally like, oh, they have these things called directs. I never knew that. This is actually pretty freaking cool. So but based off what Brandon said, to go from 7 minutes to now, when we get our general directs, they're 40 minutes long, and it's just a plethora of games, whether we've heard about it or not. I think it's really cool. And I think for me, what hits about this, the very first ever direct, is the people in it. Reggie, and the how do you say it?
Who are you talking about?
The Nintendo Direct, the Nintendo president
What is-
back. No,
Iwata?
yeah, but who you say? Yeah, him. But like the late Iwata. I think that's it's just this is kind of off topic, but it's always nice to see that we still have records of all this stuff. Because it's always good to see where something started, and even though it was only 10 years ago, it's nice to see that this is something they bring up, like, 10 years ago was the first ever direct. So I don't know, it's really nice. It's really cool to see where they've come from and now where they are.
It's pretty trippy. I'll also add, watching the original direct, seeing the 3DS be marketed as their like the newest device, and Skyward Sword being marketed that's coming out for the original Wii. It's just like,
What? That's the first one? I haven't. I
yeah, the
forgot about it.
first direct, the Wii was still out as a primary
Damn.
system with Nintendo, and the 3DS had just come out. It's also where the famous Reggie meme came from, is like where he basically, it was
My
like,
body's ready.
no, not that one. But he was talking about the 3DS, like, well, if you're a 3DS owner or thinking about getting one, if you're neither of those things, what's wrong with you? Like it's where the Reggie "what's wrong with you" meme comes from, which I didn't remember that. Like I was watching the records, like, oh shit, this is where it's from. Nice.
The only thing I'll say about go ahead, Rodrigo. I'll close it out.
Oh, you want me to? Okay, I'll complain about directs.
Go ahead.
They ruined video game press conferences. Because I remember there used to be in E3 especially, there used to be like this big things going on, like a whole show, like
yes.
an hour show with a bunch of stuff that happened that didn't have anything to do with the games. And it was kind of boring, like that Kinect one from Microsoft. I mean, it was boring, but I watched all of it.
Kinect one.
Yeah, see, remember? Yeah, that.
Skittles the tiger.
Yeah. Or doing the fuck Ubisoft, but the Ubisoft thing, the Just Dance ones. I mean,
I love that you said
we're
fuck
gonna miss
Ubisoft
on that.
first.
We're gonna
Dude,
miss
I
on
love seeing the
that.
Just Dance concerts and you.
Yeah, that was funny, just for the cringe, I guess. But then they started doing it on purpose, so they ruined that. Anyway.
Yeah, then they started doing purpose.
So then, I mean, that's the only thing that I don't like about
the real
directs.
car in Xbox presentation to show off Forza, the real cars.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but I would say that Nintendo started it, but Devolver Digital perfected it.
You know
So,
what? Can't even
there's
argue
that.
with that. Can't even argue with that. Fucking love the Devolver Directs.
Yeah, they're great. They're a great company, as far as I can tell. Probably got some stuff going on that we don't know about, but like all the other ones. But I like them so far. I like all their games. They've been hitting it out of the park with all their games. Like this is last. It just came out this week, so I'm gonna talk about it. I mean, it's probably true.
Okay.
We don't know until somebody
don't
launches
know.
an investigation.
You're right. We don't know.
But they won't because
At
everything
least-
won it.
At least you still love them.
Yeah. But
The
anyway, this card game just came out. It's really good. It's spooky and it's nice. I like it. It's by the guy that made Pony Island. So Insurgents. Insurgent? Is that what it's called? I forget what it's called. Inscription. There you go. I have it right there. Yeah. So check that out. Recommend.
Is it
8
gonna
out of
be
10.
in your giveaway?
No, that's my kit. I'm keeping it. There's other games. You can have other games, just kill. Someone took the Yakuza one, so there's something like that there, probably.
You gave away your Yakuza game and I didn't win.
Yeah.
Tragic.
So you should have done all my giveaways.
So the one thing that I will say about directs is that they have done something really awesome that other companies have, or specifically PlayStation has kind of taken the mantle up as well, and that is champion the indie game. Because before, it was very much Nintendo centric, and now they even have a specific, indie presentation, Indie World Showcase, for example, which is not, titled to direct, but that really changed the game. Get it? Changed the game.
I get it.
Oh, that was the whole sentence? Okay.
Yeah. It was a really funny one. No?
Well, yeah.
All right.
I like
Whatever.
it.
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Anyway, it really changed the game. It brought a lot of titles that I personally would never have heard of to the forefront. Not only for me, but the average consumer is able to find and play a bunch of awesome indie titles. And not only that, but the Indie World Showcase, I know we talk about it all the time. They're really big on diversity, and that has really also changed the way that these presentations are presented. And obviously at HP Critical, we're all super about diversity, especially myself. So Brandon's always mentioned that it's really awesome to be able to see these developers speaking in their own languages and being passionate about what they're doing. And it's really great that a company as big as Nintendo is allowing people to do this, and that is all a part of what comes from the directs. And then even PlayStation with their State of Plays have also picked up a lot of indie titles that they're also showing off. So I think that is one of the best things to come out of the direct, is the ability to boost these games that are in some sense life-changing. Some indies are really life-changing to people. They just gave us Deltarune Chapter 1 and 2. I haven't touched it yet, but I have only heard great things about it. That's a game that I can imagine without the direct, without getting it into people's hands, how many people would have heard of it, how many people would have tried it out, you know what I mean? You had to have been a fan of their previous work, whatever. Y'all get the point.
The previous work was what's it called? Damn. Okay, I'm gonna get canceled. Never mind. There you go.
For
Undertale. Yeah, I mean everybody loves Undertale. So
yeah, and then how did you hear about Undertale?
The internet.
Smash Bros.
And
Really?
Smash-
okay.
What? I mean,
No.
sure.
I
So-
generally did not know anything about Undertale until they announced that stupid Sans costume.
Wow. That's
Really?
impressive. That's
Yeah.
honestly impressive that you dodged it for that long.
Dude, you guys think
Yeah.
I'm kidding when I say I didn't play indies back then? I did. I
thought you were
didn't
this
even
way.
know.
You
I
know.
didn't know shit. I didn't know shit.
Well, that was another one that was featured. Basically, featuring these indies is really changing the gaming space, and it's really awesome that directs have been at the forefront of that. And with that, once again, you can find Rodrigo at Sasramel on Twitch and on Twitter and twitch.tv/Sasramel.
YouTube. Yes.
And YouTube as well. Definitely check out his giveaways. He does one every week with 2 winners. You now have to compete with me because I will also be applying this week if the game choices are great.
I'm gonna add more games.
All right, see, there you go. He adds games every week. As mentioned,
No, I don't. I just like every couple months, but I do add more games.
he adds games.
There's like 50
eventually.
games there.
He is basically Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, but
Except better.
He
If you keep the
as
game.
often as Game Pass.
You
But yeah,
keep the
better
game.
because you keep the game forever. Look at that. You never have to give it back. It'll never go away. Anyway, yes, you can find him there. You can find all of us on HP Critical at HP Critical critical_HP on Twitter, and HP Critical on Instagram and
other places?
twitch.tv/HPCritical. Yeah, just go look us up. Yes, if you're listening here, you probably have already found us. But yes, we're having, like I mentioned, the Dead by Daylight play session tomorrow, and the Luigi's Mansion play session with Brandon on Saturday. And we also have some fun planned for December, and even more fun planned for February, because we're going to try to do something every other month, and hopefully you guys can come out and participate and donate to whatever charity it is that we're going to do for that. And with that, I think I'm all good. So thank you, Brandon, thank you, Gabe, and thank you, Rodrigo, for coming to guest on with us. It's
Thanks for having me.
great talking to you, because you always have very strong opinions, and they're always usually negative, which is, great for me.
It's
because I
not great.
usually-
I don't mean to be negative. It's just negative stuff happens.
No, negative stuff happens, and I love that you are so blunt with it. It really makes for a great podcast co-host, so thank you. But no, seriously, thank you for coming last minute.
No,
by
thank
the
you
way.
for having me.
I literally
No.
messaged him and was like, "What are you doing at 10:15 p.m.?" And he was like, "Why?" And I was like, "Oh my god, like, bro, bro, what are you doing?" You're
No, what do you want?
like, literally, that was him. But yeah, thank you so much for. I've wanted to have you on for a while, so thanks for coming on and talk to us. It's always
Thank you
great.
for finally having me and not avoiding me this time.
Oof. All right. So also,
Roblox. Oh,
also, if you guys want to hear more of him, you might, I don't know, you might be able to hear more of him later on, because HPCritical is restarting JRPG Club next month. I don't know if he's gonna play with us, but if he does, you'll be able to hear his sultry voice yet again. He's gonna be a hater, but you'll be able to hear his sultry voice.
I'll be a
yet
hater.
again,
This game
with
is boring.
Brandon and
That's gonna
I.
be me. All right.
It's gonna be him. But yeah, that's it. So we'll see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.